where I sing my hits. He said, baby, what's the time? Baby, what's the time? Now we dancing through the night. Dancing through the night. When he get me in his side. He get me in his side. Oh, his eyes they shine so bright. Eyes they shine so bright. Baby, tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. Isn't this big real? Isn't this big real? Yeah, we feel identity. Yeah, we feel identity. They know that we are real deal. The way I do like this is a one. Where I swing my hips is a one. Baby, make me this is a one. Where I sing my hits is a one. Baby, what's the time? Baby, what's the time now? Hi, family. It's your girl Candy. Thank you for joining me on the African Vibe again. Thank you. It's on Monday. Tell me, how has your weekend been? I really want to know about it. I know, talk to me. I will talk back. I really want to know. Let's talk and interact. But first, let's go back to the song Beatty with Wololo. And she just said it's time for the African Vibe. So yeah. Dancing through the night, dancing through the night. When he get me in his side, now he gets me in his side. Oh, his eyes they shine so bright, eyes they shine so bright. Baby, tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. Isn't this big real? Yeah, we feel like endlessly. They know that we are real deal. Where I do like this, it's a wallow. Where I swing my hips, it's a wallow. Baby, make me miss, it's a wallow. Where I sing my hips, it's a wallow. Before I get back to one more song, before we start the topic of the day, I really want to find out how was your weekend. Mine was hectic. It was full with ups and downs. Really thinking of just becoming more introverted and just like, yeah. But all in all, the weather in Nairobi, it's 21 degrees, but it's still super cold. So I'm still in my hoodie. It's cold. It's freezing. But other than that, all my end, I'm good. I can't complain. So far, so good. In Nairobi, Kesha, tomorrow is the D-Day. Kesha is D-Day. Because we are waiting for our elections. All in all, I hope everything is going to be fine. I'm hoping all will go great. I'm hoping there won't be any bad vibes, no animosity, though it's tense. The atmosphere is really, really tense right now. But all in all, it's vibes and mashallah. So back to one more song before we go back to the topic of the day, which again, the West. The West, the West, the West. But anyway. I just want 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 you. I just want. Go tell all your friends I love them too. I look nice, but I'm not so good. I got something I just wanna prove. Can you feel yourself inside my room? Let me take you up, let me push you down, take you down. Let me show you up, let me know you. Let me show you something. Look. Let me show you. Hiya family, I am back. Before I even go any further, I have to share with you my quote for the day. My quote for the day is go with where your energy resonates.
Go with where your energy is. You feel welcome. It's healthy. We don't want to do anything toxic. We don't want to do anything toxic. So again, I think the catchphrase of Marisha should just be vibes and mashallah, vibes and mashallah, because that means anything that's good, anything that's meant to be sent your way, and so just enjoy it and also thrive. It's all about being healthy. It's all about being healthy mentally. So also being a non-toxic person, because you know what, you can be toxic. Everyone does have the capacity of being toxic, but all in all, yeah, vibes and mashallah. So. Hmm. So over the weekend, first of all, I like thrifting my clothes. I really like, because I'm always convinced if I get clothes that are store bought, I wouldn't be able to like get like unique pieces and anything. But turns out that's basically what I have been brainwashed into believing. Because right now, a friend of mine thrifts clothes from one of the markets in our area. Well, one from like the resident hub of clothes that have been imported, code name Mitumba. But now I know Mitumba is killing our economy, is killing our textile industry. But then again, I am part to blame because I didn't know how bad or how serious it is when it comes to the Mutumba situation. Okay. So again, Keith is always telling us, uh, our biggest downfall is always going to be us as Black people, us as Africans. I don't know why we always look down on ourselves. I don't know why we don't see the endless potential, the history of great wealth and conquerors and kings we've come from. I don't know why we look. I don't know. I don't understand why we look so much to the West for support, for encouragement, to the point we actually want to try fit in, where we shouldn't even bothering. Well, first of all, they haven't given us a seat at the table, but we are trying to like coax ourselves into it to the point where, as is right now, we have been brainwashed. As I said, I had been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed to the belief that all Western goods are usually all Western goods are usually highly desired and are of the highest standards in the world. Why? It's the West. Think about it. How many people are so obsessed with labels, from Gucci to Versace to I'm trying to think of all, to Chloe, yet to Savage, the clothing brand. But the thing is, why can't we as Africans deal with our own form of clothing? What has become of our textile industry? Because right now we are so deluded by the fact that we think Western goods are of the highest standards in the world. Hint, hint, hint. Some of those highly desired clothes, for example, Gucci for the last couple of years has been held critically by the international society, because it said that they hire the first of all they hire immigrants and pay them squats to work in their sewing factories so that you can get that highly desired quality. Again, I will even take it so far. I will even take it so far to abroad. Think of our locally made clothing, which most of the time they are imported. But you know what? Any African who works in any of those textile industries or any of those sewing industries is we are lowly paid. We are basically paid peanuts. We don't get value for what we do. Mind you, we provide quality products, from the texture to the finishing. But you know what? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. So right now, the West has come up with the new guys. You know, it's a story as old as time. The oldest guys was charity, but we agreed last week that it wasn't charity. It's just a way for them to control us through corporations, because corporations are the equivalent of the modern day colonization. But right now, they have found a new niche to it. Right now, it's not in the form of infrastructure. It's not in the form of schools. It's not in the form of healthcare. Right now, it's in the form of goods. Goods in this case are clothes. So hear me out. So they offer to any large markets. In this case, it's Africa. Because as Africans, we are already deluded that they have the highest standards of goods, and we desire them even more because Nyawazungu, it's imported. It's imported. Anyway, but here's the thing. So here's the niche. Here's where they catch us. They offer. They look for any large market, which in this case is Africa, and then they offer us goods. They offer us the clothes that they have donated to charities, or that they just like are trying to recycle or upcycle, but they offer it to us in the guise that, hey, it's high fashion. Keyword, it's high fashion. Who only wanna wear? Who wouldn't wanna wear a designer dress? Again, we are so deluded. We're so delusional that anything from the West is of really high quality, and because of our infant mentality, we do not like always question. Last week I said no one is ever 100 with you unless they want something from you. You get? But now, right now, they are sending large amounts of clothes, second-hand clothes, which chances are some of them are actually a dead white man's outfits to Africa. All under the guise that they are sending it to a third world country because it's the best quality. And that's all. That's nothing more than rubbish. And that's nothing more than rubbish and Western propaganda. Because all in all, they are using Africa as a dumping ground. Hear me out, hear me, hear me, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Right now, you will find like from over 10 tons of clothing, half of the, not even half, three-quarter of the pile are just rejects. They're either like badly tattered rejects, no, not suitable for human use. But they have us not seeing the amount of waste that has gone into the clothes that they have sent our way, but just like putting in like a decent amount of clothes that are workable, a decent amount of clothes that we can use in Africa. But then again, don't we have a textile industry? Hello, why don't we have our own textile industry in Kenya? But the Kenya textile industry is in shambles. We grow cotton, but why do we have to import clothes that are three-quarter the way rejects? So, back to my complaint. The Western world has basically found a cheap way to dispose of their garbage. So they basically they mix their garbage with a small percentage of good products. So because of our naivety, because of our childlike minds, we see it as something they're doing to help us out. But we don't need their help. Again, we don't. This takes me back to how many more industries that we can have in Africa that would be thriving, but then we aren't bothered. We are so we are so we are so we are so mesmerized by the West helping us. We have cotton pickers. We have cotton pickers. Why don't we have a decent Kenyan brand? Yes, we do. We have. Let me correct myself. We have decent, not even decent. We have brilliant Kenyan designers. We have brilliant Kenyan designs and companies who make really good quality products. Do you know what? The majority of the population are so enthralled, are so mesmerized by Mutumba, because I'm gonna thrive. Me being part of them, I admit I'm part of the problem. But I'm working on changing my perspective. I don't want that to be my whole narrative. I want my narrative to be one of I didn't know. Now that I know, because actually taking the step to find out what we are doing and where we went wrong, that hopefully I can be better and I can do better for my countrymen. But then again, that's just me. As is, they will always baby us because we purchase so many Western goods. We can produce our own. We can, as in, tell me what we lack. First of all, Africa right now was compared to the late 90s India, because we have a surplus of population. That means that code name labor force, and then with most people from the demographic of 30 years residing within Africa, that makes us a very ripe market for the picking. Do you know what? We purchase so many Western goods because we have demonstrated that we are incapable of making them ourselves. But it's true, it's true, it's true. We are so deluded by the West quality, by the West having like really good quality for goods, be it dresses, I think we can make it on our own. But you know what? We are suckers for the white man's blessings. We are suckers for the white man's hand me down, and that disgusts me. So they send clothes. Well, maybe in our own deluded form of rationale, maybe it's the thought that we are importing finished goods. Hear me out. Hear me out. Maybe we are so against putting in efforts. I don't know why. That just means we are lazy. I don't know why Africans we are lazy. Because we have all the raw materials in our continent. We have the labor force. We have the markets. As in, we can create a market of supply and demand. Because we don't have to create it. It's already there. But you know what? But you know what? But you know what? But you know what? We prefer the finished goods that come from the West. These finished goods, sadly, in my perspective, are goods that have already like served their purpose to the white man. That's why the title for my show today was Dead Man's Clothes, because that's all we are getting. And mind you, it's not that it's new. We don't get clothes are new. We don't get clothes that are steady. We don't get clothes are of proper like quality. We just get clothes that are almost at the end of their life or are expired. To the west, they are unwanted goods, or if it aims, but it's not even to just clothes. It even goes to as far as toxic electronic waste, or even the technology they send under the guise of helping Africa. Last week, Keith told me that as much as China has been funneling millions and millions, the EU joining very like promptly to fund all of Africa's economies, from like giving you substantial loans, from providing infrastructure development, books to unis. You know what? We even in the same essence, we are also just getting their reject. We're just getting their refuse. We are getting things that are so close to their end of viability that they don't mind tossing it away. Mind you, if they send them our way, it will cost them a lot less for them to send them our way than actually being responsible and dealing with their garbage and waste that they, for years, don't know what to do with it. This even has me. This has taken me way back to COVID-19. Were you aware that as many as 1 million doses of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine reportedly expired before they could be used in Nigeria, a country of more than 200 million, where less than 2% of their population is fully vaccinated? According to Reuters, the doses were sent from Europe through COVAX, a program to distribute COVID-19 vaccines donated by rich countries to poor ones. But Nigeria did not have enough time to distribute the supply before much of it expired. Okay, so one, it's always the same case. Create a problem, just create enough hysteria, but not too much hysteria that will cause general public among people, and then provide a solution. Again, COVID-19 is a man-made viral infection. Yesterday, a friend of mine, we were discussing if getting vaccinated was a viable option. I am of the impression I didn't get vaccinated, and I think that was a plus on my life, because I know lab rats, I know guinea pigs. These people just use us as guinea pigs. It's not enough that they're trying to take our ports. It's not enough that they're trying to force their laws and language upon us. It's not enough that they use us as guinea pigs. Case in point, when Russia invaded Ukraine, all the labs that were found, the monkeypox labs that were found. But you know what? These people, all under the guise that they're helping to distribute COVID-19 vaccines, which again I will never advise you to take it. But you know what? Freedom of choice. You get to choose where you stand. But I hope you make a knowledgeable decision. But here's the thing: as million as 1 million doses, they had expired before they could be used in Nigeria. So they basically shipped them. From the states to Nigerians under the guise of helping us. But you know what? Of our population, of 200 million people, only 2% of them are vaccinated. And those who were vaccinated got vaccinated using expired drugs. In Kenya, last year when we were having the COVID pandemic, there were circulating reports of people going for the vaccine but actually being either dosed up with water or even worse, an expired version of the antigen in the COVAX vaccine. Anyway, so they use us as guinea pigs. They even send expired medicine just because they don't want to own up and deal with the amount of garbage that they have been piling in their continent. They send them our way under the guise of help. So we get garbage for medicine in form of vaccine. We don't want your vaccines. 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 They're just using us as lab rats and guinea pigs. We don't want them. Second, clothes. You know, the mitumba industry has basically killed our textile industry. We basically in Kenya, we basically do not have a functioning textile industry. Coming to think of it, right now, all the leaders who have been campaigning, hi General Mosquito, Amani Kwakopia. I like how your Kiswahili is improving. That's a really good sign. I still think you're Googling. But anyway, back to my point. For large, okay. Let me use a country as an example. So, annually, over 15 million used garments are poured into Accra. Not even annually, weekly. 15 million used garments are poured into Accra, Ghana alone, every week from the UK, Europe, and North America and Australia, flooding the streets and sprawling clothing markets. An estimated 40% are of such poor quality that they are deemed worthless on arrival and end up being dumped in a landfill. I just talked about it. They just give us their reject. They give us something that will barely even it's at its end of life. You know what? As global consumption of clothing skyrockets, which is fed by the fast and ruthless fashion industry, it's creating an environment catastrophe. We have so many images. We have harrowing images revealing one of the West Africa's vast electronic graveyards where millions and tons of discarded appliances from all over the world, including the UK, are being dumped every year. Whoa. Let me even share my screen for those who are with me because I really like to see. I really like you to see how bad it is. I really like to show you how bad it is. Just a minute. Just look at that. Look at that. The title is Western Electronic Graveyards. Thousands of broken televisions, computers, microwaves, and refrigerators are being illegally exported to African countries and dumped in gigantic landfills like the Agbogloshi. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. The Agbogloshi in Ghana because it costs less than recycling them in their countries of origin. Whoa! Again. Okay. It's not enough that they have depleted our continent. It's not enough that they have taken all our. It's not enough that they milk us dry from the resources, from the mineral resources that we still have, to the point that they rather change our continent into a dumping yard because it's cheaper than them actually taking responsibility and recycling. And then you're gonna hear them capping, go green. Let's go green. Let's protect the environment. Let's do this. And then they are pretenders, fakers. Okay, the West are such fakers, man. Let me share my screen again, cause personally, I don't know what to say. Are we no, we are not, but then we don't do any better. It's like our standards are so lowly. We have very low standards for ourselves to the point we don't even. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It hurts. Whether it hurts. As a person who personally does not litter. Hmm. So I've shared my screen. Look at that. On the banks of Korle Lagoon in Ghanaian capital of Accra, and escarpment towers at the water's edge, cattle grazing is on its summit. That all that is trash. Trash. Whoa. This ridged cliff, some 20 meters high, is formed not of earth or stone, but of landfill. Most of it, an estimated 60%, is unwanted clothing. You know, what makes it worse whenever they're doing the dumping? They don't do it near town. They don't do it near like uprisings, or then they don't do it where the population is a bit more financially stable or earning like a decent living. They always send it to where the people are struggling to make their ends meet. They only send it to the slum. Because from the photo I'm just showing you guys, it is as clear as day. That has to be what a slum in Ghana. But you know what? They're using the water's edge. The landfill is full 60% of unwanted clothing. You'll never see this near any town, and if they do, that is the side they will never show you. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just look at it. Look at it. All I can say is nylon, tons and tons of nylon and clothing. These were garments shipped to Ghana, ostensibly for resale and reuse. Many sourced them from clothing bins and charity collections. Hey, wow. I don't think we are this. I don't think we are this badly off. I really don't think. But a huge proportion were never won again. Just look. Look at it. But that's a modern day Gikomba market. Gikomba market. That's a modern day market. Some 15 million used garments pour into Accra every week from the US. Man, okay, just peep at that. Man. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. I mean, in case when we have a saying, yani chafua roho, imeni chafua roho, vibaya sana. And you know the worst bit is, as I started the show, I said that modern day colonization is in the form of capitalism, where they use corporations to control governments. Such corporations have our leaders in their pockets, where they pay them and use them as puppets to the point you can come with over, in Ghana, 15 million tons weekly of clothes, of electronic refuse. Even they use their fake vaccines, but you know what? No one is talking about it. Our leaders are well aware what's happening, but they are not sympathetic to our cause. But they are in their pockets. Again, where is the spirit of African Pan-Africanism? We need it. We need the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Because we need leaders who would actually stand up and say no. But then everybody has a price. What's your price? I really like to know. But when will we wake up and say enough is enough, Africa? Because the proof there is proof all over. And then they will never use bougie or posh residences. They will always target the less fortunate in the society, the Africans who swarm around slums, just as the clip I've just shown you guys right now. Whoa. 14 million tons of e-waste, which is worth over 34 billion pounds, were discarded globally in 2014, according to a shocking report by the UN University, who claim only 6 million tons of that was recycled property. So, from 34 million, that from loads of 34 million pounds of discarded trash that they sent to us under the guise of recycling, only 6 million tons per recyclable. They're basically turning Africa into their garbage pits because it's cheaper. It's cheaper than them actually having to clean or take responsibility for how much they are killing the environment. Mhm. The Agboglovish, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not saying it right, so please excuse me. The Glacier Dam is a result of the world's increasing demand for electronic equipment as customers continually upgrade their devices and throw the older ones. A significant proportion of this electronic waste is sent, often illegally, from the West to the developing countries across Asia. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel, because this feels like something has been going on for so many years. From way back as the 1850s during the Industrial Revolution. It continues to read. The mass production of goods and services created new lifestyles and consumption during the Industrial Revolution. The link between the colonial government and the colonies as at then was more of commerce and forceful introduction of foreign manufactured goods from their home countries to raise revenue for their governments, which the educated, enlightened, confused Africans used to show class and levels amongst themselves and encourage the patronage even when they took over the government after independence. Is it weird? I can literally hear Keith making fun of me because of the white wigs, the white lawyers' wigs right now. Because think about it. During the Industrial Revolution, it was more of commerce. You get? It was more of the increased demand led to increased need for supply and consumption. There was a population boom. Then it continues. There had to be a link between the colonial government and colonies. Wow, wow again, Africa, form of cheap labor, slave trade. Anyone? Cheap labor. Think of all the think of all the kids being put under harsh child labor conditions just so that they can make a far coat or under the Gucci and and the Versace workshop just so that they are put through long tedious hours. When they're just kids. What happened to protecting our children? What happened to children being the future? Anyway, so first link, rapid population growth led to increase in supply and increase in need for consumption. So here are colonies and the colonizers and the colonies. A very intrinsic relationship which was founded on the availability of cheap forced labor. Because back then, how did they play the game of using Africa as a dumping site? One, one, they they will produce back then they will produce and manufacture foreign goods from their home to raise revenue from their government, which now the educated stroke enlightened stroke confused. I like the word confused. This collaborating motherfuckers. This word confused. I like the word confused in this statement because it says now they would produce them in bulk in their countries. Then they would bring them back to our continent to us confused Africans. You get to us confused Africans who would use it to show class and levels amongst ourselves and encourage the patronage even further. Think about it. Think about it. How many of us are still adopting the white dress culture? Think about it. Again, I said from 3/4 of the clothes that they send our way are beyond use, are beyond recycling. But they give us just like enough so that we don't complain, but they'll still use it as a form of exerting their influence on Africans. You guys, you guys. The word dumping did not look right for the finished products to people who needed them. It's only toxic that can be tagged dumping, not food or machinery. So they went further and brainwashed us into thinking dumping is solely toxins. Dumping is solely chemical wastes. Do you know what? They have been dumping all their second-hand expired goods in Africa for the longest. Medicine, vaccines expired, clothes expired, beyond use. I'm getting so worked up. I'm getting so worked up. Because I honestly don't know what to do. I'm angry. I'm literally angry. Literally, I'm not forming on them, but I'm super angry. Hmm. What? What? Yeah, to make matters worse, Africa's leadership is allowing it. Reasons. I will think about it. Whenever when we go back to our schooling, remember then again they never teach us about African history. They never teach us of the local trade that was going on in the continent pre-colonialism. They only teach us of the trade agreements that we made with people of the West during colonialism. Yes, the trade agreements along this. I don't want to think about it. But to me, those trade agreements feel nothing more than the carrot and the stick approach. Think about it this way: if you want to move a donkey, chances are you won't move. You try nudging it, you try bossing it, you try like where songa, it won't move. But you can just like, because donkeys eat vegetables. All I have to do is just tie a carrot to the end of a stick and lead it, and just point it and just put it in front of the donkey. The donkey will take more and more steps towards the carrot, and when the donkey gets close to the carrot, you're gonna move it a little bit further. That's what they were doing to us. That's what they were doing, and that's what they still are doing. I like to make what our African leadership, our puppets, are allowing it. Tomorrow is a big day for Kenya, as they had started by saying, it's because tomorrow we get to elect our new president. I feel like it's the same old story, different participants, different time and age. Because you know what? Raila, Azimio, he has been big on talking about textile industries, reviving the textile industry, mitigating the importation of mutumbas. But you know what? That feels like the same manifesto that Uhuru gave us 10 years back. And again, same problem. The only thing that's different is the day and age. But it's the same problem. When will we wake up as Africans? Africans. Then to make us even more dafter or more blind to the facts, you know, the detail is in the wording. For ages, I have been led to believe that the word dumping solely reflects chemical and toxic waste. And we have landfills in Ghana full of clothes, rejects, just because people don't want to take responsibility and go green. But then the whole going green is just a cap on their ends. Go green, so because you don't want to deal with your trash, so you dump it in Africa, man. Hmm. 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 Then us Africans are so deluded because we still believe the white person's clothes are way better than what we would make. Man, man. I mean, okay, I don't know. I feel like my energy has been disturbed. I really do. Man. Mm. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it. I don't know. I just feel uh uh and you know what, the worst bit is we are aware they're not like new clothes. We are aware that they are second-hand clothes, but then they have led us to believe that they are new clothes, man, and they are not. I've just read an article that said, anyway. So what's the problem? Our issue, which we know is as clear as day. Western countries dump huge quantities of clothing on low-income countries. Again, that's one problem. We are also part of the problem. Why do they dump? The reason is an abundance of cheap, poor quality clothing. This is why we don't have a strong textile industry. And then I'm trying to think of how many seasons fashion goes through. Because something that you might buy today may not be in next year. Or not even next year, a couple months from now. Because think about it. The world of fashion is a very fast one. It's a very fast moving one and constantly changing. Which will translate to every time there's a change in trend, all the clothes that were in fashion are gonna be tossed aside. Then shipped to Africa as second-hand clothes. Maybe maybe it's cause we have low paid workers in China or Bangladesh who are sold to the Western countries, modern day slavery people. Uh, who with these clothes that are hardly worn and are easily discarded. If you ask me, fast fashion is disastrous to the environment in many ways. Because clothing is becoming cheaper and cheaper by the day. And the cheaper it goes, the less quality you get for it. Think about it. Most clothes right now, it's really hard for you to get something of good quality. You want to get something from synthetic materials as polyester. And we all know polyester is not recyclable into new clothing. Think about it. Think of those of us who do online shopping for clothes. Clothing and shoes are bought in bulk online, tried on and sent back. And they are not offered for resale. New collections are being launched in quick succession. Oh. This takes me back. Oh my god. This takes me back to again to Ghana. I don't even believe it. I don't even believe it, man. I don't. I don't know. Again, I found another article. Tons of brand new clothing dumped in the Chilean desert. The import of discarded clothing in South America is concentrated in the Chilean harbor of Iquique in the economic free zone of Atlanta Hospicio. Every year, 59 tons of clothing are brought there from around the world. What follows is a comparable ecological disaster. Clothing that cannot be used anymore, up to 40 tons a year, end up in the adjacent Atacama Desert. What is notable is that many of the clothing in these dams still have price tags. These are clothing that were not sold and were never worn. Large fashion brands are responsible for this, but I can say it never happened. I know many of you are wondering, what can we do about it as Africans? What will the EU do about it? Personally, I don't know. I don't have any hope in the West putting an end to this. At the end of this month, the European Commission will present a strategy for the sustainable textiles, which is a part of the action plan for the circular economy. 3% points of the departure are the prevention of textile waste and making it mandatory to collect used textile from 2025 onwards. Recycling textiles so that new clothing can be made from old clothing must get off the ground. Raw materials must not be lost. As long as the strategy has not yet been published, it is not clear how far it will help to put an end to the export of low value. Personally, if you ask me, I think the first thing we should do is ban the destruction of unsold clothing. We don't want them, and we don't want you to come to our countries and destroy them using in our landmines. We should also ban the export of clothing that partly or entirely consists of synthetic materials. Think about it. Polyester is not recyclable. Polyester cannot be molded into something new. Ban the shit out of that use. Ban the shit out of that material. The mandatory return of containers that turn out to be filled with low-value textile by exporters, coupled with fines and an introduction that will make trade transparent. As much as I'm thinking, yes, I'm saying we should ban the destruction of unsold clothing. We should ban the use of um of synthetic material in making clothes. We should also send the containers out. But at the end of the day, it all trickles down to our leaders. Because again, remember our leaders are puppets. Remember right now, modern day colonialism is the equivalent of those corporations. Those corporations who invest millions and millions into our economy. Oh, mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. You know, ever since the mass production of plastics that started in the 1950s, yes, we assume plastic is lightweight and durable and very widely popular. Just as I throw my eyes around the room, I can already spot like over six things made of plastic. And I don't even have to put in that much effort to find it. But you know what? We have produced over 8.3 billion metric tons of the material since production started in the 1950s. Because it does not, it is not easily biodegradable. Much of what we made now lives in landfills like this one in Nairobi's outskirts and rubbish pickers. Let me even share my screen for you to see the photo. I don't know. Nachafuka roho. I don't like. I don't like. Hmm. Just look at that. Look at that. Plastic is not biodegradable. 8.3 billion tons since it started production in 1950s. This is a landfill in Nairobi with these hand pickers. I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. But I feel largely betrayed to a very huge extent. Mm, mm. Many African countries such as Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Republic of Benin, among others, receive huge containers filled with used electronic devices such as phones, kitchen appliances, and even automobiles that are no longer roadworthy for European streets. Again, what's with the West and sending their rejects our way? So the vehicles they send our way are not roadworthy to their European standards, the roads. But right now, they send them for what? For what shoes? More of a tax evasion tactic. Because they don't wanna own up, they don't wanna deal with their problems. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Man, I don't know. I don't know how I should feel. I don't know how I should feel. The cars, often in disrepair, have frequently been involved in ghastly accidents in Europe before being shipped to Africa. Most items that land here have been rejected as unusable in Europe, but are sent to Africa with the excuse that they are somehow useful to people here. I'm telling you, it's in the wording. It's in the wording. Uh, According to the UN report, the world produced over 53 million tons of electronic waste in 2019 alone, but it has been up 21% in the last 5 years. The UN's Global E-Waste Monitor 2020 predicted that global waste would reach 74 metric tons in Africa by 2030. The trend makes e-waste the fastest growing domestic waste stream, one fueled mainly by the higher consumption rates of electronic equipment, and their short lifestyle. I don't know what's the biggest worry about this trend. The trend is because it's something that's been happening and it's still happening. It's still happening. By 2030, we will have reached the level of e-waste in Africa is going to have doubled what it was in 16 years. I don't know. Mind you, e-waste is very highly toxic and can be damaging to people's waste. And although Africa is not necessarily responsible, it ends up on the continent somehow. The trend is not even worrying. I think the scary bit of the trend is the consistency. How consistently we import clothes, how consistently our textile industries are rubble, how consistently we take hand me outs from the West. The no good West that have nothing to offer us, but just who see us nothing more than opportunities. Man, and like, what's even okay? Something else that's very constant is how Africa we lack laws, how we lack laws to deal with the shipping of waste from the west to its territories. I honestly don't know what to say. Uh, Again, it's the leaders. It's the leaders. Our leaders. Our leaders are our problem. I don't know. Which kind of has me even more antsy about tomorrow. Because as much as I will practice my civil rights. I know. I will. I will. Hey, I gotta go vote. But will that change anything? Because as is, our planet is already threatened to the brink. But people are so money oriented. We are so capitalistic. We don't even seem to bother about how we are killing Mother Earth. Mm. And further than that, Europe must pay for dumping waste in Africa. Aye. Last week we talked about how but I told Kina Joby how I think we should get compensation for all the atrocities the West have done onto our countries. But right now I'm thinking now even more than ever. Europe should compensate African countries for the waste it dumps on the continent. Okay. And then any compensation we get, we don't want your charity aid, we don't want your rejects when it comes to medicine, to even the technology you send our way. Whatever compensation we get should actually be used into channel. No, take it back. I take it back. I take it back. I don't want your compensation. I feel like that's I feel like whenever the West is involved in trying to remedy their wrongs, it just like keeps digging us deeper and deeper into the hole that they have put us in as Africans. So no, I don't want your compensation. We don't need your compensation. Let me use Joby's words. Just leave. But then when you leave, also go with your trash. Or even you find other ways to deal with your trash. Ah. Mm-mm. We don't have anything in the budget to deal with environmental conservation. Man, I don't understand. I don't know. Mind you, it's still an SDG goal for 2030. Sustainable environment for people. But you know what? It's not working. Mm, 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 mm. Man. And then, further I'm thinking, the reason we are suckers for such is mostly because we don't have the same bargaining or purchasing power as the West does, which means we will never be equal or we will never have the same level of playing field when it comes to any of their business practices. Hear me out. Hear me out. If we as Africans actually did have proper purchasing power to buy premium products and new products instead of waiting for their hand me downs, their second hand things, we wouldn't settle for things which are beneath our standards. Oh, yeah. Because all we are getting are products that have been used for years and years in the West, but then they're just being dumped to Africa's scraps. These people send motor vehicles our way that are unroadworthy on their European standards roads. They send cars our way that have been involved in multiple accidents. Uh, but this still leads me back to my general assumption. Africa, we do not produce enough to take care of ourselves. Mind you, these goods are needed by people. We are the ones who need these goods. Apart from South Africa, which is able to produce enough to feed its people, which it shouldn't be a kind of courtesy, but should be the law. No other African country is able to produce enough that could go around. Hence, there is little but no sense of domestication. Until then, Africa will always be dumping ground for those more superior countries such as China. I agree. I agree. I agree. It was lost. Let me even read you. Let me even read you a tweet I saw in the morning. The same thing me, Keith and I were discussing. I don't get, but it baffles me. It really baffles me. It baffles me. Ever since the Black Sea blockade, I don't get how Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, has 20 million tons of grain rotting in their stores and threatening Africa with droughts, so, with hunger, because we don't have food for our own. We don't even produce our own food. We are so deluded that anything from the West is better. I don't know. Ah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we should do. Mm, I don't know. It's not that we are poor, because Africa is the cradle of life. We are so endowed. We are so blessed in Africa. To the point, I don't understand why we only live on hand me downs. I don't understand why we settle for rejects, and I don't know. I don't know. Mm, mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Alright. Mm. It actually has me thinking of Trump. There was a time Trump wanted to like cut all the foreign aid he was sending to Africa. I was like, yes, cut it, yes, cut it. But we castigated him to the point we actually didn't see that he was actually doing us a favor. He did call Africa shithole. We've had it before, not once. He did call Africa reasons. We already survive on cheap imports from China. We wait for chicken from the US. He called Africa a whole, imagine, a shithole. Imagine, I don't disagree with him. Not even in the list. No, we don't. Mm-mm. Then what's even worse is they have built this narrative, this stereotype where we are no more than a continent that's full of civil strife, a continent that just has coups raging from every country. We are no more than a country where people are dying of hunger. We have famine. We are drought stricken. We have poor technology. And that's the narrative they have been preaching, spewing. Africa is full of so much potential. The system is rigged against us. It's rigged against us because one, our leaders already sold us out. Two, we settle for less. We have the capacity of producing everything in bulk, mass producing stuff. But you know what? We are so content getting foreign aid because we are too lazy. We don't want to put in effort and get what we deserve as Africans. I personally do not know. Mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. And then you know what's worse? Because the imports are cheap, we actually seem to prefer them, even if they are rejects, than actually investing in our textile industry, which will reap more rewards for not only us as Africans, but the government itself. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Mm. It's not that Africa is poor. We're not poor. We're not poor. It's just that we don't know. We don't know how wealthy we are. We descend from the great Manso Musa, the richest man in history. We are descendants of the pharaohs in Egypt who built the pyramids. So I personally do not understand why we think we are so poor, why we settle, why we kiss. I think better I personally think we kiss their asses. Because nothing good can come from emulating people who see you nothing more than reject, the people they can take advantage of. All we do is just take breadcrumbs, nothing more than breadcrumbs, which they have us sold and fed the notion that it's cheaper, it's quality, better quality. Mm. I don't know. 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 I don't know what we shall do. But first of all, we have to change our leaders because the problem starts from the leaders. Nothing more. Nothing more. The leaders are the ones who sold us out to the white man. But it's okay. It's okay. I don't know, family. Today I'm ending the show on a very not so high note. I feel like my energy has been. I feel like my energy has been drained for the day, cause it's the same old story, just different participants, just a different time in age. Cause all in all, the West have no good intentions for us. All we get are just their second-hand rejects, from the clothing to the medicine to the technology. Oh, I don't know. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And we have to wake up, though. We have to wake up. We have to take a stand. We don't need your charity. We don't need you to help us out. Because everything you do has a hidden motive. But then the fault is in our childlike minds because we don't recognize. We have the naivety and the innocence of a child, which is not good. Because as soon as we realize we are descendants from great kings, conquerors. As soon as we realize that Babylon is not good for us, but Babylon doesn't want to do anything but use and misuse us. Anyway, family, thank you for interacting with me. Let me at least let me try feign a smile. Though it actually have a term saying in a uma. In a uma means it hurts. Because I would like it really does hurt. But then I don't know what to do about it. But anyway. So same time tomorrow, family. Can't wait to interact. Can't wait to talk to you guys. And stay woke. Say no. But it we should just okay. Anyway, tomorrow I can't wait to see what's going to happen in Kenya. I hope you choose wisely. If to those who are listening to this, you might think your vote won't make a difference, but at least you would have tried. You would have tried doing something you believe in. Though I believe that the whole system is rigged. But anyway, till tomorrow, family. Have a lovely Monday. Enjoy your day or remainder of the day. Can't wait to interact with you again in the Rhythm Scoop Show, where you're gonna join me, Katie, and Joby. Hiya. Much love, family. Problem in the finish. Make it try to enjoy you. In the finish. Make it try to enjoy you. Take a kata not the finish. Make it try to enjoy you. Problem in the finish. Make it try to enjoy you. Oh, it doesn't like